So at the start of the year, I had two very big career announcements that coincidentally coincided with each other time-wise. The first one being that I joined Team Redline, otherwise known as Verstappen Sim Racing as it's been rebranded. And the second one was that I joined the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team as one of their simulator drivers. But yeah, I just felt like I needed to make a video to update you all on what's been going on so far this year. We've recently hit 200,000 YouTube subscribers, which is absolutely nuts. Last week was the first week in 20 months I'd not uploaded a YouTube video just because life and work got in the way. And yeah, I was pretty frustrated, but at the same time, I'm very happy that I was able to upload a video once a week for basically just under 2 years. I think that's quite a good run. And yeah, I feel like it's just time to update you all on what I get up to in these two roles, as they do take up most of my time. When I'm not making a YouTube video or very occasionally live streaming, these two roles do fill up most of my time. So with that being said, let's catch up. Right, so Verstappen Sim Racing, let's chat about that first. I'm sure many of you will be aware this is Max Verstappen's sim racing team. They've pretty much been the benchmark team over the years in competitive sim racing, winning basically everything there is to win. Since I've started sim racing in 2018, I've always competed against them for other teams, usually coming off worse. Not always, sometimes I would get the occasional win, but generally speaking, they would dominate whatever they competed in. And yeah, I joined them in January this year. The plan was, and still is, to mainly drive on Le Mans Ultimate for the team, at least to begin with, maybe looking at other games and sims down the line. But yeah, many of you have asked why I've not been doing the iRacing special events with the team so far, and that's because they have so many iRacing drivers that there's not really a spot for me there at the minute. Plus my iRating is too low, so I'd have to get that up. Yeah, maybe down the line that is a possibility, but at least for the minute, the main focus is Le Mans Ultimate. So yeah, what have I been up to with the team? As I say, it's been Le Mans Ultimate races and special events primarily. And yeah, when I say we, I mean myself, Kevin Siggy, Enzo Benito, Bono House. I did do a couple with Sebastian Job as well, mainly in the hypercar class we've been racing in so far. And we've racked up a not too shabby 5 special event wins so far, which is not too bad. The reason we're doing that is because we've heard rumours that there might be a big esports series on Le Mans Ultimate at some point down the line, which would be pretty awesome. Now, last year I did make a video on the topic of sim racing esports effectively dying, and as we sit here in May 2026, the situation isn't much better, if I'm being brutally honest. Last year I did kind of miss being in a team, competing with teammates and trying to win big races. It was a bit of a void I definitely had to fill. I also felt like I was regressing as a sim racer and as a driver, not being with a good team. I felt like I was just getting worse. So yeah, to be able to join a team, and not only just a team, but probably the best team there is around, was a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest. And the level of the whole team is insane. You know, the drivers, the engineers, the processes. Honestly, in my 8 years of doing this, I've really not seen anything like it. I do see a lot of you ask why I don't stream or make videos on the races I do with Verstappen Sim Racing, and it's a simple one really. When you've got a team that's that good, they're very conscious of not spilling their secrets or the way they do things to everyone. They want to keep it very private, which, you know, is frustrating because I'd love to live stream it and make a video from it, but at the same time, it is understandable. So that's basically the reason every time I'm racing for the team, it's in private. On a different note, and I've only been on one stream so far, but you might catch me from time to time on the Verstappen Sim Racing Twitch, where they stream different games, just having a laugh, doing random stuff. They're quite funny streams, to be fair.
Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline.
Open the mic for everyone to hear.
But yeah, that pretty much summarises what I've been doing with the team so far this year. It's been very much behind the scenes so far, but yeah, let's see where it goes. Moving on then to the other big announcement that dropped a couple of weeks after the Verstappen Sim Racing announcement. Mercedes F1 simulator stuff. This one was in the works for a while. Some of you may remember I was with the Mercedes esports team from halfway through 2022 until early 2025. So yeah, I left at the beginning of last year basically. Now, although I left, I still had a few contacts within the team. And that's exactly how I was drafted in to do some laps on the official F1 simulator last summer, because the driver they had planned to have in the sim that day couldn't make it. So yeah, really lucky timing for me. I went there for a day, met everyone in the sim team, did some laps around Zandvoort in last year's car, and honestly, I thought it was going to be a one-off. I really tried to take it all in as an experience, thinking this probably isn't going to happen again. And yeah, it was amazing just to experience what an F1 car actually feels like. Like I was buzzing the whole drive home, just thinking, wow, that was insane. Anyways, a few weeks passed and I got called back to do more. So I went there again, experienced it again, and eventually made enough of an impression to get an assessment day, which is effectively a practical interview where they assess your driving and your feedback. So I did that, and yeah, the rest was history really. I ended up going once a week at the back end of last year, focusing on the 2026 car, because yeah, the 2026 cars, or the 2026 regs, required a lot of sim work, as you guys can imagine, with the way the cars are now. And then I got an official contract through in January this year to be a part of that program, you know, with the team that's leading the World Championship right now. To be one of very few drivers on the Merc Sim team, considering where I was a few years ago, is mind-blowing, to be honest. I see many of you ask, what is it I actually do there? And that's a great question. And I can't get too specific with it. As you can imagine, it's quite confidential. And that's exactly why I can't make content on it. It's just not that sort of role. But yeah, basically a sim driver is the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle when it comes to car development. So we're there to put in consistent laps, driving in a realistic way, and then giving feedback on how the car feels and behaves, basically. Focusing on a number of different things, you know, from the car setup, both the chassis side and the power unit side, testing new parts that the team develop. For example, they might develop a new front wing which needs testing, doing specific race preparations ahead of every event. There's all sorts that goes on, and I'd love to share everything with you. Like, there's been some really cool moments in the short period of time I've been there. But yeah, I'm just not allowed to. It's, you know, it's a very secretive, confidential program. I can't be doing that. In the few months I've been there, though, I've learned a hell of a lot. You know, working with some of the best engineers and personnel in general, really, within F1, it's definitely raised my game. And both of these roles, really, the Verstappen one and the Mercedes one, you know, they take up a lot of my time. And you guys won't necessarily see that because I don't make content on those roles. But, you know, I am loving it. It's always been an ambition of mine to be the best driver I can be. And doing these things is 100% making me better. And I really enjoy that process of learning and improving. In other news, many of you have asked if I'm racing in real life this year. And unfortunately, there are no plans as of May 2026. Same old story, lack of budget, lack of money. I'm still an FIA graded silver driver. So, you know, I'm sure opportunities will pop up. But yeah, it's just really tough if you want to race year in, year out, if you're not wealthy, unless the right opportunity pops up, which for me, it just hasn't. So I'm really happy with the real racing I did last year, though, with Garage 59 at the front of GT World Challenge for a couple of races. That was mega. Even if I don't turn a real racing wheel again, to have been able to do that is pretty nuts. So yeah, I'm at peace with it in a way. Like, if obviously I want to race more than anything, don't get me wrong, but I'm not losing my mind over it, if that makes sense. In more personal matters, I've recently got engaged to my girlfriend Katie, fiancée, should I say. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I went to Dublin for the first time a couple of weeks ago. That's a mega place if you've not been before, especially if you like Guinness. What else? I've been running a lot more recently. I guess that's kind of interesting. Oh yeah, I've just recently released my first ever bit of merch. And they are Sim Racing gloves, which I've been developing or helping develop for over a year now. So yeah, these have literally just been released today as of the 22nd of May 2026. So yeah, feel free to go and check those out. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested. But yeah, a final thank you to you all for 200,000 YouTube subscribers. And a final question for you all, as we're having a bit of a heart-to-heart today. What content do you guys want to see from me moving forward? You know, it can be something I've not done before. It can be stuff I've done before previously that you enjoyed. Just let me know in the comments below, because it really helps me steer the channel in the right direction.